The OECS Authority is holding its first meeting in Martinique, and Dominica hosts a National Volunteerism Symposium. Thank you for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Jarna Hector.
And I'm Kerdisha St. Louis. Stay with us for details of the headline stories and others after this.
DOWASCO recognizes that clean water is vital to healthy living. Therefore, it spares no effort in providing a clean, safe, and reliable system. Help keep our rivers safe and clean. Do not cut trees along the river banks, and do not pollute with garbage, human or animal feces, and chemicals. Think water, think life.
Thanks for staying with us. The OECS Authority is holding its 60th meeting in Martinique beginning today, February 4th. Dominica's Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, chairman of the OECS Authority, which governs the OECS, is already in Martinique. According to a statement from his office, Honorable Skerrit feels that holding the meeting outside the OECS jurisdiction for the first time is a sign of welcome. It was announced this week that Martinique is to officially become the newest associate member of the OECS at this meeting, an event acknowledged by all as historic. The OECS chairman says it is important that while a part of Europe, Martinique also must be a part of the Caribbean. Director General of the OECS, Didacus Jules, says the use of Martinique as a tertiary health facility center is already under discussion. The agenda for the 60th meeting of the OECS Authority includes an update on the implementation of the OECS Economic Union, the free circulation of goods, and issues on sports and healthy lifestyles. Okay, Kerdisha, so there is so much that we can say and we will actually say about this story. But before we get into the meat of it, when you heard the announcement first that Martinique was becoming an associate member of the OECS, what were your thoughts?
Well, Jarna, personally, when I heard that Martinique is becoming an associate member of the OECS, I was really excited because, you know, the OECS is all about togetherness, and adding one more country to the mix of the OECS family, as I like to say, is incredible because we can benefit from them, you know, the resources that we or all other OECS countries don't have that Martinique has. We can benefit from them, and they can also benefit from us. For example, in Dominica, we have, you know, the geothermal energy, and I don't know if you know this, but Dominica is planning to sell the excess geothermal energy that we are going to have to the French territories, such as Martinique and Guadeloupe. So when I heard that, you know, they're becoming a part of the OECS family, I was really excited.
I felt the same way. It's something that I did not anticipate. Maybe I have no faith, but it's just how I felt. But we should also explain what it means to be an associate member. It means almost a full member, except they will not be able to participate on matters of foreign affairs, defense, and security. Martinique is making the third associate member. We already have BVI, which joined in the 80s, and more recently, 1995, Anguilla joined. So this is just three, and it's just one step away. But you know, it might not actually be as easy as it looks because Martinique still belongs to France. But there are a lot of opportunities being opened just by that signing this week. So, you know what, everything might not turn out the way that we really want it to. There are still several benefits from that.
And you know, Jarna, I love French pastries, French cake, French bread, you name it, I love it. And if a French baker, you know, from Martinique decides to come over to Dominica and set up shop, it'll be so easy because of, you know, free movement of persons, which is all what the OECS is about. So, you know, the harmonization of the process is also will make it very easy, you know, to come down. You have all your documents, and, you know, the government will already have your documents, making it, you know, relatively very easy for a French baker to come down and set up shop.
So you're talking about free movement of goods, services, and people.
Exactly.
Agreed. Also, you know, Dominica being so close to Martinique, we've always sort of had that relationship before, but this just means that it will be expanding this relationship to other OECS islands. And you know, I'm thinking about the farmers and the hucksters formalizing that relationship to make business even easier. It's a perfect example for if somebody has to ask, what will Martinique gain from Dominica? Will it only be Dominica gaining? So no, it's really the essence of integration, mixing people, making this lovely Caribbean community. I think it's nice.
Yes, I agree.
More than nice, it's very good.
I agree. A number of Chinese-funded projects are to come on stream in 2015. The news came last Friday from the Honorable Finance Minister and Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. The Honorable Prime Minister signed a $16 million agreement with the government of the People's Republic of China for projects to be agreed on by the two governments.
Of course, the hospital will commence this year. We have to address certain technical details of the drawing, so the hospital will commence this year. We'll also see the commencement of the much-needed bridge in the Layu-Clarkle area, another gift that has been offered to us by the government of China, and that will no doubt improve the communication in those areas, improve the livelihood of farmers, improve the safety of road users in the Layu area. The Newtown Primary School is going on very, very well, and we're very grateful to the government of China for this massive investment in education. And when completed, the Newtown Primary School will become, in many respects, the premier primary school in Dominica. And this also is a generous grant from the government of the People's Republic of China.
The Honorable Minister for Health, Dr. Kenneth Daru, is committed to making strides in the healthcare sector. Some of the areas that the Labour Party administration has already tackled include the intensive care unit, increase in the number of staff nurses and specialization of doctors, and improvements at the acute psychiatric unit of the Princess Margaret Hospital. Also on the cards is the construction of the new hospital, which is expected to begin this year. A specific area he wishes to tackle as minister is the human resource development and the quality of service provided by healthcare professionals.
This human resource inventory, what I'm hoping it would do, in addition to not just pointing out the shortcomings in terms of staffing, etc., but also it would give me as a minister, and of course the Ministry of Education and the government by extension, a better understanding of what training needs. Because if you look moving at the amount of money that the government spends on an annual basis in the area of training, education, I've already spoken to my good friend, the Minister of Education, and I think that going forward, as I said again, with the scarcity of resources, that our training and spending as it pertains to education has to be more focused, has to be more tailor-suited to our needs.
The Honorable Minister emphasized the need for healthcare practitioners to be service-oriented and says that this needs to start at the primary healthcare level.
I think health is one of the areas where service is important. The human-to-human contact is very important. I remember having a discussion with a few friends of mine, and I gave them this analogy where that the first point of contact moving the people in the trenches, for example, at the district health centers, that you have to treat the clients, the patients good. You have to know off your hand that you don't, a mother comes in with a child in the middle of the night with a burning fever, that you don't open the window panes of the health center and talk to the mother and tell the mother, give the child paracetamol and come back tomorrow. You open the health facility and assess the child, and if you feel there's a need for a physician to assess the child, there should be a doctor being paid by the state to be on call to assess. So this is where it starts moving at the primary healthcare level. And if things are done properly in the area of prevention, education, and the service that we're supposed to be doing, we're going to see a serious decrease in the admissions to the Princess Margaret Hospital, our secondary care service, and of course, and that would impact on tremendous impact on the economy. We see the amount of money that we spend on a yearly basis moving on chronic non-communicable diseases, especially those that are not managed properly, those that require admission. So my vision moving is that, yes, that not only that, yes, as I said, I'm excited about the new hospital and all of the potential that it's going to bring, in terms of expanding our services, our specialty services.
In more news, the Honorable Minister for Trade, Energy and Employment, Ian Douglas, who is also the former Minister for Tourism, is advising young people entering the world of work to pay attention to the quality of service they offer. This, the Honorable Minister says, is critical in a competitive tourism industry.
Dominica used to be an agriculturally based economy a couple of years ago, maybe probably when you all were born. But it's slowly changing right now. And we are now getting into the service industry where service is important. And so when guests, or when tourists, when visitors come to Dominica, we cannot give them the Trafalgar Falls to go back to their homes with. We cannot bottle Indian River so that they can take it with them. We cannot cut out a little piece of Meru Beach to go back with them in their suitcases. So what they go back with is the experience that they have in the country. And that is where you come in. The level of service that you give is what will stand out in the mind of the visitor, quite apart from the geographical attributes that we have in Dominica.
He says government will continue to equip young people to meaningfully contribute to the development of the economy.
It's very important for you to understand the part you play in Dominica continuing to be very competitive, because tourism is a very competitive industry. St. Lucia is involved in tourism, St. Martin, Antigua is involved in tourism. So we ourselves, for us to continue to succeed in this very competitive industry, we have to be at our best all the time. And so your service quality must be 100% every time that you serve our guests. And it's important for you to know that.
The community of Meru is testing a climate resilience project which is hoped to be rolled out in other communities and islands when complete. Executed by the OECS through a USAID grant, the main focus is to reduce flooding from runoff water. Ted Lawrence represents USAID in Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean.
Everyone here in Dominica, as throughout the Eastern Caribbean, are already seeing that hurricanes and other storms are becoming much greater. So in the case here, we're doing a demonstration project working through the Organization of the Eastern Caribbean States that's targeting the Meru community. The issue there is that as storms become greater and runoff becomes greater, there's a greater level of flooding that really upsets life in the Meru community. So what this project is doing is improving the drainage throughout the community, as well as putting up storm walls to prevent the rise of the sea. And this is one of many small projects we're doing throughout the region.
Locals have been hired under the $320,000 contract for 4 drainage sub-projects in that community.
Meru was chosen through a careful study. First, it was recommended by the government of Dominica, and then it was reviewed by the technical experts in the OECS and determined that this was a really good project. The idea of these projects is to demonstrate how we can adapt to the impacts of climate change and set up projects that can and show how they can be implemented so they can be replicated in other parts of the region. This may be one that would show people how you could do similar things in Dominica or perhaps in other islands in the region.
The planned completion date for that project is at the end of March this year.
A 2-day national symposium geared at educating and stimulating a greater interest in volunteerism began today at the Fortune Hotel. The symposium is facilitated by QSO International, a non-profit development organization which works through volunteers and the Ministry of Youth, Sports, Culture and Constituency Empowerment. In her remarks, the Honorable Minister for that ministry, Justina Charles, noted that the symposium is timely and says that volunteerism goes a long way in contributing to the overall development of a nation.
This symposium is very significant. It is really very relevant to the time in which we are in terms of the present financial challenges, the global financial challenges that we all face. No country is immune to what is happening globally in terms of the financial situation. And so the significance of that volunteerism symposium and various programs across the globe. As government, we recognize the amount of savings that are realized from volunteerism program, the increase in productivity and opportunities to redirect financial resources. Because of your action, your volunteerism action, governments around the globe can redirect some of the resources, because labor in itself is very expensive. And because we get that labor free in certain aspects of our development programs, so we can now look at other infrastructural development and other things where we need finances. So that allows government to redirect some of our financial resources.
The Honorable Minister also commended Dominica's own youth division for its dedicated work through volunteerism.
I want to commend the Youth Development Division for the amount of work that they've been doing in terms of volunteerism. Usually they have the annual summer volunteerism program and have quite a few volunteerism activities throughout the year.
Timothy Ferdinand, President of the Caribbean Regional Youth Council, believes that volunteerism fosters well-rounded and productive young persons.
We are a reflection of genuine volunteerism spirit. Youth and community leaders who work are some of the best examples of selfless sacrifice that you can find. National Youth Councils are organizations that foster volunteerism and produces some of the best national leaders and most disciplined members of our society.
GIS News will bring you more on that symposium in a subsequent newscast. 4 key areas will receive focus as the world observes World Cancer Day today, February 4th, 2015. These are choosing healthy lives, delivering early detection, achieving treatment for all, and maximizing quality of life. World Cancer Day is an initiative of the Union for International Cancer Control, a leading international non-governmental organization that unites the cancer community to reduce the global cancer burden, promote greater equity, and to integrate cancer control in the World Health and Development Agenda. The day is being observed under the theme, Not Beyond Us. This year, the international observance will take a proactive approach in the fight against cancer, highlighting that solutions do exist and that they are within reach. World Cancer Day is an opportunity to raise awareness that much can be done as an individual, community, and governmental level to harness and mobilize the solutions to effect positive change.
And that's the English news. Macpherson St. Louis is up next with the Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi, c'est Macpherson St. Louis. Premièrement, Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, en Fort-de-France, Martinique, qu'attendait bon meeting OECS. Premier ministre Skerritt, comme chairman OECS, qu'attend meeting des jours là, les 4 et les 5 février. On communiqué qui sorti qu'a dit que Martinique est venu membre 9 autorité OECS comme associate member. Ça, c'est la première fois que OECS a un meeting de pays qui pas membre OECS. C'est le Premier ministre Skerritt. Il a dit on bienvenue pour Martinique comme membre OECS. Quand c'est les autres pays OECS là, quand embrasser Martinique en organisation là. Et de ça même autant important pour la région là. Ensemble et puis peuple Martinique, même si il y a aussi pays européens, il même c'est pas Caraïbes. Premier ministre Skerritt dit il y a autant de bagailles OECS ça fait en collaboration et puis Martinique adresser challenge ces pays qui ont expérimenté bagailles santé, sécurité, éducation, culture, énergie et puis sécurité manger. Ambassadeur Dominique pour OECS, Excellence Félix Grégoire, qui a aussi attendu meeting là en Martinique. Ministère des Affaires Planning, Honorable Dr. John Colin McIntyre, qui a une position comme Premier ministre. À notre nouvelle, plusieurs pays régionaux qui ont participé à un symposium national qui a mis attention à ces coups de main et puis comment ça même peut aider la société là. Organisation QSO ONG au Canada qui a facilité le symposium de jours là qui a pris place en Dominique semaine là. Ministre GNS Honorable Justin Charles délivré en l'adresse pour ouvrir le symposium là à bon matin là.
Aujourd'hui, nous avons QSO International avec Youth Development Division, des organisations qui ont joint ensemble pour faire un symposium à Dominique pour 3 jours. Le symposium là, c'est pour encourager les jeunes à travailler coup de main en différents pays. Parce que nous avons Grenade, nous avons Guyana nou ni moun, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaïque, Belize, mon kwe, ki Dominique actuellement, eve moun Dominique, qui Dominique garder compte comment yo ça encourager coup de main en tous ces différents pays Caraïbes là avec comment il aider développement ces différents community là bagay là yo ka fait des journées où là yo ka disputer coup de main comment yo ça fait tout bénéfice là avec tout différents programmes yo ça travaille avec mon dernier jour là yo les aller en côté avec là yo qui ça fait un projet en coup de main yo pour up to hier les mon parler chief là yo pour côté décider mais yo ni on yon côté là yo les aller avec yo les travail.
Selon ministre Charles, initiative celle-là autant important et puis gouvernement Dominique a supporté.
So basically nous comme gouvernement nous ouais ça c'est un but qui est très important because nous sommes avec problème là avec l'argent actuellement l'argent pas aisé pour venir avec nous car ouais il va venir plus difficile pour nous à présent avec nous just ouais avec drop puis gaz même c'est bien pétroleum ça même qui affecte nous so nous pas toujours ni l'argent tout le temps pour nous faire ça nous ça fait so il bon pour monde comme ban vivre pour développer country because country gouvernement qui garder compte comment il ça travaille pour développer country mais chaque individual various countries là ça fait quelque chose pour aider développer country.
Autre nouvelle, et Banque Dominica offre étudiants State College opportunity pour Elford Henry Scholarship. Parole celle-là sortie au chairman banque celle-là, M. Martin Charles.
This is Elford Henry. Nous avons un scholarship pour un monde Dominique attendait State College là. Et nous avons dit aussi qu'il y a des gens qui les enfants qui attendent State College là, nous pouvons garder compte pour bailler l'argent pour ça aller attendre State College là et interest rate là c'est qui est plus bas en toutes ces institutions là qui a bas l'argent pour aller l'école. So nous bien excités qu'on ça qui fait aujourd'hui et nous avons gardé pour nous faire plus que ça l'année prochaine.
Et puis finalement plusieurs spectacles qui prennent place qu'on nous a venir plus pour lundi et puis mardi mars. M. Val Coffey, c'est agent Festival Comité Dominique.
Aujourd'hui, là, nous parlons quand ça nous fait pour Dominique, Carnaval Dominique. Semaine, ça nous a pour Queen Show. Nous Miss Dominique, Queen Show, Friday, Saturday, Queen Show pour madame qui fait ses affaires. Et bien, nous avons teenage pageant la dimanche, et bien, nous avons wet fête. Et bien, c'est habité pour nous aller miser koyo, faire carnaval, pas venir sauter vers ça, cause nous parler pes physique, nous parler pes moun tuer moun au goumi, c'est carnaval. Et bien, nous parler ça nous a fait pour l'autre semaine là, nous avons habité Saddam Tent, nous avons show dans Mass Camp, nous avons bouillon fest. Bouillon fest c'est un habité nous a fait pour toute bouillon bande Dominique, nous avons Triple K, WCK, Cross Vibes et sa Banton qui est original bouillon payanaise qui a tout joué à stadium à Windsor Park. Et bien nous avons dit tout le monde pour gagner ticket venir amuser quand yo Caliso Finals à samedi autant habité. Et bien nous dit Dominique tout midi pour chebe faut parler parce que Carnaval Dominique c'est là pour c'est la vie nous.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est Macpherson Saint-Louis. Au revoir.
Coming up next, your tip of the day.
If you can believe this, why can't you believe this?
Uncle tried to make me have sex.
Some mothers don't believe their own children when they say they've been sexually abused, and they don't report it. Remember, if anyone asks to see or touch their private parts, touches them inappropriately, shows them or forces them to touch one's private parts, has sex with them, shows them pornographic material, or deliberately lets them hear or see the act of sex, then it is sexual abuse. Believe your child and report the sexual abuse. For more information about child abuse, contact these agencies. This message brought to you by UNICEF and this station.
As we delve into the heart of the carnival season, it's important for all nationals and visitors alike to take safety precautions.
Crime prevention and safety remains a key priority for the Dominica Police Force. GIS News will bring you safety tips from Superintendent David Andrew for the next few days. Here's today's tip.
Vendors are also advised to ensure while they are set up for vending on the routes, they must do so in the designated area. Added to that, they must ensure they are in the possession of their permit being authorized by the DFC or the City Council, as well as their liquor license, their food handler's permit. They must ensure that they're in possession of all these. Yes, they are also advised, all the vendors, to look out for counterfeit currencies. At that time of year, and many persons, many visitors here, and criminals take the opportunity to perpetrate their crime. And we are asking you to look out and be vigilant when dealing with money, especially of high denominations.
And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm.
Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow on Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News Desk, I'm Jarna Hector.
And I'm Kerdisha St. Louis. Thanks for watching, and do join us again next time on National Focus.